Let's return now to Brexit and some more analysis of today's developments. Earlier I brought together the Westminster correspondent of The Scotsman, Paris Goutsianis, and Jennifer McKernan of the Press and Journal. Jennifer McKernan, how influential is Ruth Davidson down here and her latest intervention on Ireland?
Well, just remember, she's extremely popular among backbench Tories, who still seem to think that she might want to be Prime Minister. And also she has this group of 13 Tories in Scotland who could hold the balance. So when she sent that press release out on the morning, it was extremely influential. It sent shockwaves through Westminster and to a certain extent had a good impact on the government's position.
So does she... and where was this seen down here as positioning her? Because up until now, we've seen Ruth Davidson as being very much in favour of a soft Brexit, but she was supporting the DUP.
It was very interesting to see the DUP not only on the same side as Ruth Davidson, positively promoting her position. I think she played it really well. She managed to show that she was standing up for the Union, standing up to the Prime Minister. But she was also getting a little bit of a dig in at her rivals, Michael Gove and Boris Johnson, who are, of course, staunch Brexiteers and somewhat pulling the rug out from under them. So a well-played couple of days by Ruth Davidson.
But not so much, do you think, for the Prime Minister in terms of what she had to do with the DUP?
Theresa May is having a humiliating time. It's absolutely awful to watch, just like the conference speech. I didn't think it'd get much worse than that, but it has somehow. How can you have a deal almost signed off and then have your own partners, the people propping up your government, pull out because you apparently haven't spoken to them?
But is there anything that you can see where they can actually now can they sort this out in time to get to Brussels? Well,
it might, as is the case with European negotiations, these things almost always go down to the wire, and it might be the case on this occasion as well. There's a few more days left. It is a very dangerous time for the Prime Minister, because I think this situation has perhaps given Brexiteer MPs on the Tory backbenches a sense that she might not be the one to deliver Brexit. They have kept her in place because they think that the alternative could be worse, could be a Remain supporting PM or indeed Jeremy Corbyn. She has undermined their belief that she can deliver the Brexit that they want.
And what about, you mentioned Labour, what about Labour? It appeared earlier in the week that Labour were moving towards actually formally saying they support the single market and the customs union. Then they kind of weren't. What is the position? Do you know?
It's very unclear, and as Theresa May was saying at the MPs today, that the red line really is down the middle of the Labour Party. You have Keir Starmer saying one thing and Jeremy Corbyn saying another.
So, what's your feel of, is that just because they can't agree?
Yeah.
They're looking ahead to the next election, presumably in 2022. I think the sense is that they can muddle through and the public won't perhaps notice that they don't have as clear a position but then the government is also divided on this, and you've got Ruth Davidson pulling in a different direction from the PM, so it's a bit of a mess all around, and I don't envy the voters.
So nobody has a clear position on that. Can we talk just a little bit about what's known as Clause 11, right? This is in the Act bringing powers back from Brussels, which it is said means all the powers come to Westminster, and the SNP characterised as a power grab.
It's not just the SNP, it's also Labour and the Lib Dems talking about the Tories trampling over the devolution settlement. And even the Tories themselves are conceding that there is a bit of an issue there. David Mundell today in Scottish Questions said that yes, they would look at this again, not at the amendment stage, but at the report stage.
But does anyone know what he means by that yet?
There's certainly going to be continued pressure on him to look now at this. If they're accepting that there is a problem, then parties will continue to push for the Tories to act now.
And does that mean that he can find some kind of solution where it doesn't appear in legislation that it is, quote, a power grab?
I think the Scottish Tories are looking for more guarantees about which powers will come to Scotland, about when they'll come to Scotland, and there is a sense, and actually behind the scenes, the SNP and the Scottish Tories are working more closely together than perhaps they would admit in public to get these changes through and have them be acceptable to everyone. My suspicion is that it might not happen until the bill goes to the House of Lords, but then that poses a problem to the Scottish Tory MPs as well. They're going to have to vote on this bill as it is when it leaves the Commons. If it hasn't been amended and they vote for it, then they're open to the charge that actually they haven't stood up for Scotland, they haven't stood up to protect devolution, and you can be sure that the SNP will remind them of that.
And the Scottish Tories really want to be seen to be doing that. How effective is this group?
You can see them taking over campaigns today, for example, with Douglas Ross going on delivery charges, which is a campaign set up by the SNP, this ongoing broadband spat. They got their demands through in the budget, and that is a major win for them.
Jennifer McKiernan, Paris Gutierrez, thank you very much indeed. That's just about it from tonight's Representing Border, but before we go, a word about tomorrow. We're back in Hollywood, where the main business of the day